I know everybody's having such a good time at your table and talking, and I hate to interrupt that, but there are also time considerations. I know many of you have to get back to work and others have other things to do, so please continue eating as we continue the program. I know some of you have not been served your entree yet. In fact, a reminder, the staff cannot even serve an entree until you're finished with your salad. So with that in mind, they'll continue serving entrees, you continue eating, and I'll continue yapping for just a moment. We do have a number of special guests who I would like to recognize today. We have several tables of families who have been served by Sightsavers America in a very powerful way through their life-changing low vision program. And at this time, I would like to ask each of those families to please stand for just a moment to be recognized. I think, are you all back in this area? Please stand for just a moment if you could and let us recognize you. There we go. Thank you. Don't be bashful. Thank you very much. We are also thankful to have Alabama defensive back Malachi Moore here today. He is a star on the field and off the field as well. And the reason I bring up Malachi, there he is. Malachi has developed a wonderful friendship with one of the children that Sightsavers America has served, and that special relationship has received wonderful news coverage. We appreciate Malachi for being here today with the Murray family. And if the Murray family could just stand for a moment, thank you very much. We are also pleased to have several Alabama lawmakers in attendance today. As I call your name, go ahead and rise, please. Senator April Weaver, Representative David Wheeler, Representative Kenneth Pascal, and former State Senator Gerald Dial. Thank you all for being here and for your service to the state of Alabama. Thank you. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Jennifer Williams, Director of Programs at Sightsavers America.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for attending today, and thank you to the club for hosting us yet again this year. Now, I'd like to say a few special thank yous. Thank you to Scott, who's been our MC for many years, who does a fantastic job for us each and every year. Thank you to Vulcan Value Partners, our presenting sponsor. Thank you for your outstanding contribution. Thank you to the Thompson family and the Gorey family and Mr. Hartwell Davis. Thank you for your incredible support throughout the years. Thank you to the Eyesight Foundation of Alabama and the Quarterbacking Children's Health Foundation for your consistent and exceptional support. Thank you to America's First Federal Credit Union. Now, will the Sightsavers America Board of Directors and staff in attendance today please stand? Come on, don't be shy. The dedicated efforts of our staff and the guidance of our board are critical to our success. Thank you so much. Thank you to the Sightsavers America Hero for Sight Steering Committee. Now, to all of our other event sponsors and supporters, to all of the special guests that Scott previously mentioned, thank you. Thank you for your support. And now a final thank you to someone who has served Sightsavers America tirelessly for 23 years. Margie Castleberry Haddocks began serving Sightsavers America on day one. She was a full-time volunteer for 4 years. She was then hired on as a staff member, and during 20 years in her leadership experiences, she was involved in a wide range of activities. Everything from designing and building our eye care programs to the expansion of our low vision program into 15 states. Her dedication is unwavering, and her contributions have been invaluable. Margie, please stand so we can give you a warm round of applause. Thank you. Now, I know many of you are well versed in the work that we do, but for those less familiar, I'd like to say a few words about our 3 programs. Our Children's Eye Care program provides case-managed eye care follow-up for children who have failed a vision screening or from any other source. Now, each child referred is assigned a case specialist who uses a multi-layered contact protocol to reach parents. They educate the parents on the importance of recurrent eye care, and then they coordinate and provide dilated eye exams and all prescribed treatments. Everything from a simple pair of eyeglasses to vision therapy, patching for amblyopia, even surgeries. Now, the end result is every child has an opportunity for his or her best possible vision, and also a local eye care home for recurrent eye care. Now, since 1997, almost 700,000 children have received services from our Children's Eye Care program. We also have a low vision program who serves children and, in some areas, adults. So we proactively identify children and adults in need of high-tech vision aids, and then we are able to purchase, deliver, and train individuals on devices that have been recommended through a low vision evaluation. Now, often the recommendation is an expensive electronic video magnifier. EVMs magnify objects around 118 times. They have varying color contrast modes, and they also have other helpful features. Pardon me. So these are really, really cool devices. They have a camera, and anything that you put underneath the camera, it's magnified 118 times. So a book, an iPad, Legos, the leaves off of a tree. You can also point the camera outside. You could point it out the window and see this incredible skyline that we see today. You could also point it at your mother's face and see her clearly for the very first time. Now, these are often cost prohibitive. They're very expensive devices, and they're not often covered by any kind of insurance. So, pardon me, I'm so sorry. I've lost my place, I apologize.
I've had that happen.
Thank you, sir. So these devices are absolutely life-changing, and as I said, they're not often covered by, or they're never covered by any form of insurance. So since 1999, we've been able to place 3,000 EVMs in the homes of children, and we've served over 250 adults as well. Now finally, we have a health and vision screening program. We've provided over 150,000 vision screenings and over 200,000 health screenings in underserved rural and urban schools throughout the state. Now, there's a few reasons that we're here today. One is to learn a little bit about Sightsavers America. Another is to acknowledge our partners. So as I look out into the room, I see so many helpful people. I see leaders in the business community. I see leaders, funders and donors and people that have been idea partners of ours. I see leaders in the eye care community. In fact, we've truly become the preeminent gathering of the eye care community in Alabama. So I want to let you know that the strength of our programs lies in the strength of these partners. You are the stakeholders. It is you who have helped create and build and expand Sightsavers across the state and into other states. It's with your assistance and through your efforts that we've become a national model for children's follow-up eye care. In fact, the state of Alabama recently evaluated programs that would be able to perform the kindergarten, second, and fourth grade follow-up eye care program in Alabama. Now, this evaluation was conducted by highly credible local and national experts in optometry, ophthalmology, and in children's eye care. So national leaders. Sightsavers America's follow-up eye care program scored a 94. The next highest score was a 75.5. So thank you to helping us create something exceptional in Alabama, something so worthwhile that it has now spread to 15 states. We're also here to raise funds for our programs. Now, the funds that we're raising here today will go to help children right here in Alabama. Programs are in other states, or local money is raised there, but today we're here to raise money to help children here. And finally, we're here to present the Hall W. Thompson Hero for Sight Award to two champions of children's eye care. Now, our 2020 Hero for Sight Award recipient is Tori DeKaiser, the Executive Director of the Eyesight Foundation of Alabama. And we're so honored to honor her, we're so excited to honor her for her profound impact on Sightsavers America and for the central role that she has played in making Alabama a leader in national eye care. We're also here to honor, as our 2021 Hero for Sight Award recipient, we're here to honor William E. Burris posthumously. Now, Bill was a board member of ours since our founding, and he was our board chair for over a decade. He was a champion for children's eye care, and he was our friend. Now, as a really neat part of our event, we have commissioned art. We have a commissioned piece of art from Mary Dignan. Now, every year we have a piece of art from an artist with severe visual impairment. So someone who's been able to overcome their visual disabilities and provide us with some brilliant artwork. So Mary, I'm going to let her tell her story, but she is here from Sacramento, California, and we're honored to have her friend Chris, and her guide dog Pat with us today. Now, the commissioned artwork will be hung at Callahan Eye Hospital. For those of you that don't know much about Callahan, it's one of the few facilities in the world entirely dedicated to advancements in ophthalmology. It's one of only 2 level 1 ocular trauma centers in the United States, and it's the only dedicated facility in Alabama specializing in the diagnosis and treatment of the eye. So they have so generously donated a 25-foot space in their main lobby. So there's a really, really neat tribute wall there. The commissioned art is going to be the centerpiece of that wall. There are also some plaques to each side that describe Sightsavers America's work, the impact of Hall Thompson, who led the statewide effort for expansion, and also information about the Hero for Sight artist and the Hero for Sight award recipients. Now, Mary's mosaics will be unveiled in a few moments. And when the time comes, they'll be replaced by next year's art. If you haven't seen the Sightsavers America tribute wall, please get over and see it. It's an inspiring wall. And thank you very much for your support today. Thanks for coming out, and enjoy the rest of the event. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jennifer. And it is that time now for our honored artist this year to come forward. Mary Dignan is from Sacramento, California, and we are honored to have her and her friend joining us today. We will hear from Mary, and then she and Sightsavers America President and CEO Jeff Haddocks will unveil what she has created. So, Mary, come on up here. While they're making their way, I hope everyone is enjoying their meal. I had someone at our table say they were about to tear up, and I thought, oh, something I said really must have gotten through. No, it was the orange rolls. They are hard to resist. Take your arm over this way to your right, and you're almost there. There's the podium right there. Okay, you're good.
I am really honored to be here, and I have to tell you that there are 2 Californians in this room who are really delighted with Alabama hospitality. So thank you very much. I made my first mosaic when I was 18 years old in 1973. I made my second mosaic when I was 43 years old, 25 years later, in 1998. And there was a lot of stuff that went on between the first and second mosaics. For one thing, I went home from college to have a routine eye checkup, and I thought I needed stronger reading glasses. When the dust settled, I was told I had retinitis pigmentosa. The RP diagnosis was a total distant dark cloud. I figured that I had done just fine with 2 high-power hearing aids, a fine mind, and a decent sense of humor. And I figured I would do just fine with the blindness too. It really is amazing how cocky and arrogant you can be when you're only 21 years old. So I went ahead and earned my undergraduate degree. I embarked upon a fabulous career. I was a newspaper reporter and farm editor for a small daily paper in California's San Joaquin Valley. I worked on Capitol Hill for a California congressman who championed agriculture. I came back to California and worked for the State Assembly Agriculture Committee in Sacramento. I went down to Bakersfield and worked for the largest California water agency that contracted for agricultural water supplies from California's State Water Project. I had my own consulting business specializing in governmental liaison and legislative analysis and public relations in the field of water and agricultural resources management. And I was in the middle of California's water wars. I absolutely loved it. I played a significant role. In order to play the kind of major role I wanted to play, I needed better credentials. So I hated math, and I'm good at talking, so I went to law school. And I got my JD 4 years later with distinction, and I passed the California State Bar exam on my first try. And I went on to practice water and environmental law at one of Sacramento's largest law firms. And I want to pause here to tell you a little bit about my vision and hearing. As stated in my introduction on your, programs, I was born with Usher's syndrome. I was born deaf, which was not diagnosed until I was 4.5. Before then, my parents were told I was mentally retarded. When they finally figured out I was deaf, they put hearing aids on me, and they fought the school system to get me mainstreamed. I think by the time I got to high school, it is fair to say that no one around me dared to suggest I was mentally retarded. The hearing was never an issue until I started losing my vision. And it was interesting. I went to law school on 2 high-power hearing aids, one totally blind eye, one eye that had 8 degrees of vision, but precision vision within that tunnel. By the time I finished law school, I was down to 4 degrees and 2 even more high-power hearing aids. When I started practicing law, the hearing was more of an issue than my vision. It's one thing to smack into your colleagues in the hallway. You're just a klutz. It's another thing to ask a question that has already been asked and answered, or to say something totally off the wall because you didn't hear things. I learned to use tools to make it easier for the rest of the world to be with me and to be around me and to work with me. I learned how to introduce myself at a legal meeting by saying, "Hi, I'm Mary Dignan. I'm with KMTG. I'm here representing the state water contractors, and there's 2 things you need to know about me. First, I can't hear worth being." And I would pull out my hearing aids, and I would say, "That's why I wear these high-power hearing aids, and that's why you see that FM system on the table. That FM system helps me hear everybody. It gives me more juice, and it also puts a lot of static in my ear when you touch it, so please leave it alone." And then I would say, "And the other thing you need to know about me is that I can't see worth beans either. So if I look at you, I don't see my supervising attorney sitting over there," which is good because nobody liked to look at him anyway. And I would say, "So if I'm looking at you in the face, I'm not going to see you with your hand out to shake it. So please don't assume that I'm ignoring you. But don't assume I'm not ignoring you either. My strategy was to make it easy for people to say, Dignan, did you hear that? Or, Dignan, do you need to change the batteries in your hearing aid? Or just, Dignan, I'm over here, I'm not over there. I made it easy for people to help me, and I was grateful for their assistance. But there came a point when I was practicing law when it was too much, and I tried to resign, and my firm would not let me. They said, you're too good. I don't know if I really was that good, but that's what they said. And I said, okay, give me a month off, let me think about it. The day before I was going to take my month off, I found out that I had a brain tumor and acoustic neuroma on my right ear. That was July 30th, 1997. I had the surgery to remove it in October 1997. The surgery severed the hearing nerve and my vestibular nerve on my right side, which is why at the table I couldn't hear anybody on this side. I told you I was going to explain that. And it's also why I have a very mild palsy on the right side of my face, because the tumor was plastered to my facial nerve and my brain stem, and it took my surgeon 11 and a half hours to get the tumor off. I tried to go back to work, and it just didn't work. I simply could not see or hear well enough to justify billing in 6-minute increments anymore when it took me 15 minutes to do everything that I used to be able to do in 5. So I retired in March of 1998. And this was a very good thing because there was one less lawyer in the world. It was also a very good thing because I started my new life as a mosaic artist. The RP and the hearing losses have marched on. My vision is down now to probably about 1 or 2 degrees. I have no color anymore. Everything is foggy. I can tell that there's light coming in through the windows. But unless I already knew that this room was full of tables and people sitting at the tables, I would have no idea what is in this room. But somehow, I'm still doing mosaics. It's interesting. The blinder I get, the more complicated my mosaics get. And I think it is because in having to change my whole process, I can't walk into my studio and say, well, this looks nice with this. I have to imagine it in my mind, and I engineer it in my mind. And in my mind, I have no limits. So I make mosaics that seem to have maybe no limits. But I think there's another reason. When you hug someone that you love very, very much, what do? You close your eyes because you don't want to be distracted from the love that you feel. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to tear up. I think my strategy or my purpose in life is to find the love anyway and put it into my mosaics. This piece that I made for Sightsavers is very special to me. I love what Sightsavers does. I love the tools and the diagnoses and the strategies it helps to give children, to give them a level playing field, and to give them a chance to reach for their potential. And now I think it's time for Jeff Haddock to unveil the mosaic for you. Thank you for listening to my story.
Thank you, Mary. Stay right here. I'll be right back. Okay. Just wait for me, okay?
Stay ahead.
Turn to your left. There you go.
Oh, you want me over
Yeah,
here?
no,
Oh,
you're
I
just
thought I
going
was
to stay
going
right here.
down.
You're going to stay right here.
Okay.
Okay? And you're going to be fine right here? Just don't move, okay?
Okay.
Don't move.
I'm trying to figure out what's
Let's
to do here.
Let's go on down. Let's go on down. Come on,
Okay.
Let's go down and then I'll unveil.
All right. Yep. And I'm right here, Mary. Here's Pat. Over to the other side.
This is the 2020 award. These will be together for the 2021 award. Thank you, Mary. We're very excited to install your artwork on the Sightsavers America tribute wall at the Callahan Eye Hospital. These mosaics are beautiful, and your story is very moving and inspirational, and these mosaics will continue a great tradition on the wall. Well, after almost a year and a half delay, I would now like to introduce Tori DeKaiser as the recipient of the 2020 Hero for Sight Award. Tori has been the executive director of the Eyesight Foundation of Alabama since its beginning. The Eyesight Foundation is the largest eye care funder in Alabama and one of the largest private eye care funders in the country. I had the privilege of meeting Tori at an Alabama ophthalmology conference 23 years ago. And at that conference, we collaborated to provide an electronic video magnifier for a child with low vision. And that began our partnership. A few years later, Tori played a major role in connecting the stakeholders who helped create funding for Alabama's statewide kindergarten, second, and fourth grade children's eye care program. For decades, Tori's efforts have supported better vision for Alabamians. She has also created additional funding for nonprofits by connecting them with other foundations to better serve children's eye care in Alabama and beyond. For example, Tori has introduced Sightsavers programs to many funding partners throughout the United States. The generous donations of her time and efforts have played a significant role in making Sightsavers the national model for large-scale case-managed eye care for children. Tori is loved and respected as a leader throughout the eye care community, and I'm proud to be her friend. She is dedicated. I almost said you were adopted. It's funny. She is dedicated to helping others, and it's been an honor to work with her. Tori, would you please come up to receive the 2020 Sightsavers America Hall W. Thompson Hero for Sight Award. weren't adopted, were you? Okay. Just tell us when to quit. I'm going to put yours under here.
Thank you, Jeff. I have this nice set of notes. I'm really overwhelmed, Mary, by what you've done in your life. I can't articulate the beauty of this art you've created, and with all the obstacles you've had to deal with in your life. What an inspiration. I'd like to give a standing ovation to Mary. That's just amazing. So thank you, Mary. Thank you, Jeff. What an honor this is. I just look out at this room and I see all these people who care about each other and care about children, and understand the value of being able to see clearly. I want to thank my family and friends who are here, my husband, my Armin, my son David, my fabulous granddaughter Mary Mead. I have friends from far and near, and colleagues. The colleagues from the other eye care organizations that provide services, some collaborate with Sightsavers, and y'all all collaborate with each other, and it's such a joy to see that in action. Because of Sightsavers and these other organizations, the Eyesight Foundation is able to fulfill its mission. It's interesting when people praise the Eyesight Foundation. I want to say, we didn't do any of this. We just had the good fortune to, for example, with Sightsavers, meet Jeff at that conference he mentioned. But he and his colleagues at Sightsavers are the ones doing this great work and touching people. To the other recipients of the Hero for Sight Award, Songs for Sight, Allie B. Gorey, Eyesight Foundation trustee Hartwell Davis, Monday Morning Quarterback Club, Crippled Children's Foundation, Doyce Williams, Edwina Taylor, Kathy Wise, all those that, and Bill Burris, God rest his soul, who's being recognized also today. I'm very honored to be included in your ranks. And to Jeff and Margie and Chad and Vicki, Jennifer, and all the rest of the Sightsavers staff, thank you for putting together this beautiful, beautiful event, and thank you, God, that we're actually able to have it today. We were kind of wondering about that last week. I think this honor belongs not to me, but to the entire Eyesight Foundation Board of Trustees. And one of those former board members, Hall Thompson, is the person who the award is named for. And he was such a pivotal person. I know Jeff already alluded to that, but he challenged both me and the Eyesight Foundation Board shortly after I started working with the organization to figure out ways to connect children throughout Alabama. He had a particular concern with rural areas to make sure that they were able to get the proper eye care they needed so that they could see well enough to learn to read and do well in school and have good productive lives. And at that time, There were some vision screening programs underway in the state, and the State Department of Education was funding vision screenings for kindergarten children, but there was no built-in systematic, comprehensive case management program for what happened to the children who failed the vision screenings and needed to get dilated eye exams. And for most of us in this room, I dare say, if you have a child that needed a dilated eye exam, you would have the ability and means and wherewithal to make that happen. But sadly, for many children in Alabama, their families are not in situations where that is an easy thing to do. And but what happened over time is Mr. Thompson was so determined for the foundation to get at the root of this problem that every time I saw him in a meeting and I would see him come and I'd think, oh no, he's going to ask me again. And he'd say, okay, what have you found? Who's going to take care of this for us? And I'd say, well, we're working on it. Well, while all this is going on, this wonderful new organization, Sightsavers, has been born. I think, Jeff, didn't y'all start in '97? That's when the Eyesight Foundation. We just celebrated in July our 24th year as an entity. And anyway, I started kind of getting scared of him a little bit because he'd say, this just can't be this hard. Let's take the ophthalmology residents and send them out to the rural areas and they can take care of all these eyes. Well, is a great idea, theoretically, but in practical sense, that doesn't work. But he was always bubbling up with ideas. Well, Jeff mentioned when we met, it was around this whole challenge of these children that needed these electronic video magnifiers, and that's how I found out about Sightsavers. And then we just sort of just jumped right in with them because we learned they were doing this case management for the children that were being vision screened by other programs. And so they were spreading through the state bit by bit as their funding support grew. And before you know it, Mr. Thompson saw the value in what they were doing and got the attention of the governor and the state superintendent of education. The rest is history. They added second grade and fourth grade to the kindergarten screenings. Then they also added the case management, and Sightsavers has been carrying that out all these many years and doing it in a marvelous fashion. Plus, they'll take care of any child from birth to their 19th birthday. So it's not just the state funding. This is why other funding is so critical to the work they do. But it was really Hall's insight that took it to the next level. And I know the Thompson family and others have been so dedicated ever since then to helping continue that support, and it's very important. And to all the rest of you who are sponsoring this event and giving of your business and personal wealth, that is so important, and please don't ever stop. I can't stand here without saying something specifically about Jeff Haddocks, because Jeff, you are a rock and one of the people in my life that I most admire, and that's just a true statement. From the first time we met and you came to the rescue for those two children, I knew this organization was going someplace great. It was small at the time, but I could tell by his passion and his willingness to listen to suggestions and seek out partners and so forth. I just knew. And go places Sightsavers did and continues to do. They've grown and connected thousands of Alabama children to this life-changing eye care. And they've done so following, and this may sound a little bit corny, but what I call the 4 C's. First, they approach their work with commitment. They're blessed with dedicated leaders and staff. I've visited their office, witnessed them in action in the field, and seen the magic they make happen. Second, collaboration with other groups and individuals is a major key to their success. And a highlight of working for a foundation, and there are other foundation leaders in the audience I know, is the ability to get to know a number of organizations who might not know each other. And you get to help pull them together and then step back out of the way and watch them do great things. And Sightsavers has, I don't think you've ever not followed a suggestion that I've made. And it's just so important. The very heart of Sightsavers beats with compassion, the third C. And this staff and Jeff will do all within their power to help every child that is fortunate to come into their orbit. And their willingness to help families struggling to provide the eye care their children need knows no bounds. And finally, the fourth C is the children. Of course, it's the children. And what is best for the children of Alabama is what drives Sightsavers' every decision. And it is this collective approach that keeps Sightsavers clearly focused on its mission, always with the utmost integrity, and why the Eyesight Foundation and I have been and will continue to be among its staunchest supporters. I thank all of you who have supported Sightsavers' sight-saving work. My challenge to you today is to do all you can to keep that support going and growing. The children served by Sightsavers deserve no less. Thank you.
So I would now like to honor Bill Burris as the recipient of the 2021 Hero for Sight Award. Bill passed away on July 7th of 2020 at the age of 94. Bill's involvement with eye care began with his daughter's vision problem in childhood, and this led him on a lifelong journey to provide better vision for Alabamians. Bill was the long-term board chair of the Alabama Eye Bank, and he joined the board of Sightsavers in 2000. I'm hoping I'm going to get through this. And served as the chairman of the board for many years. Bill helped with fundraising, governance, and he was a master at steering the board through Sightsavers' growth, expansion, and major issues. He was loved by his board members and by the staff of Sightsavers. Bill was one of the nicest people I ever met. I would now like to ask Bill's family to come up and receive the Sightsavers America 2021 Hall W. Thompson Hero for Sight Award in honor of Bill. Here just a little bit.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go to this. Okay.
That's a stage problems too.
So Laura's going to speak for a minute. Laura's Bill's daughter.
Thank you, Jeff. Good afternoon, and it is very difficult to go after you two women. I don't do this very often, if at all, and so I do have notes, and I am going to use them. So anyway, thank you for having us today and all here. Our family thanks you so much, and like Jeff, I hope I get through this as well. I remember going to Daddy's office, and there was an unused ashtray, and it read, "Who is Bill Burris?" That memory got me thinking about today. Bill Burris meant a lot to many people. His best marketing tool was not an ashtray. It was his big smile and large personality. Bill Burris's passion for eyes started July 13th, 1952. He and my mom were blessed with a baby girl, me. Everything was great until they heard she's blind. Daddy said he fell to his knees. From that moment on, it became an obsession to make my eyes better. God sent us angels along the way. Dr. Tom Paul was my first angel. He and his associates decided not to perform surgery. With the muscles involved, surgery possibly could be more harmful than good. We were together through all of the patches, drops, and very thick glasses. Mrs. Stallworth from University Hospital, she and I played eye games, every week to try to train my right eye from wandering. Jim Clay Opticians made my first pair of glasses when I was 16 months old. That must have been fun, keeping glasses on a 16-month-old. I became his childhood model of all the new styles and colors that came out because he was just trying to be a good friend, we were friends for many, many years. Dr. David Schreier became my doctor in my adult years. He had told me cataract surgery would be my best answer. Dr. Carol Rosenthal, a contact lens guru, was introduced to me by my daughter and my grandson Andrew. She found the first signs of cataracts. In that appointment, we had a party. We were so excited to see cataracts. Dr. Schreier, who recently retired, and I will miss him very much, performed my first cataract surgery the very next month. He was as happy as I was because he was going to finally give me what I had been looking for my whole life, no glasses. Excuse me. To this day, after that cataract surgery, I do not wear glasses at all. Our girls don't have to hand me my glasses for me to get out of bed anymore. The first gift when my bandages were removed was opening my eyes and seeing my husband Johnny clearly for the very first time without glasses. My daddy was so happy and grateful. He had prayed for my eyes my whole life. Because of my eyes, he wanted to help every child he could not see, which led him to the Alabama Eye Bank and Sightsavers of America with Jeff Haddock and all involved with Sightsavers. It makes me so proud that because of our journey, Daddy passed it on to others to make their life better. We applaud everyone in this room who give the gift of sight. You are all heroes in my eyes. Just as Daddy, you are given a challenge and perform it for the love of a child. Thank you for the love and respect that you've always given Bill Burris. He certainly respected and loved each of you. He took you in his heart when he left all of us. And please always remember how much he loved you. Many blessings to all of you, and thank you so much for today.
Laura, thank you very much for those words. Bill Burris, Tori DeKaiser, Mary Dignan, congratulations to all of you, and thank you so much. Thank you all for being here today. As you've noticed, there are donation cards on your table. Sightsavers America staff will be coming around to collect the envelopes as you leave them on your table. Thanks again to everyone in this room for your support of the life-changing work that you've heard about today that Lifesavers America has done since 1997, and with your help continues to do today and hopefully long into the future. Please be safe, be healthy, and let's do this in person again next year. Thank you all.